212. All opinions are those of the participants making them and are not an endorsement of any position, program, religion, or political affiliation. DFG's Corner is for information, observation, and entertainment. I ask that you comment, like, share, and subscribe. Greetings, everybody, everywhere, every time. This is DFG, the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. I'm coming to you live from the 571 where I'm having fun and I'm getting things done. Tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about Black History Month and our President of the United States, initials DJT. Well, his one of the things he ran on was um, he was, I will put it for lack of a better term, I'm gonna say that he was running to say DEI was all things bad and there shouldn't be any type of history month except for American History Month and yada yada yada. Well, after signing an order basically banning DEI everywhere, he had a losing my mind here for a second. He had a celebration of Black history and he invited some people up. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to show you a quick clip from the Washington Post, fair use, and you get to see him in his full glory.
From fresh tensions between the U.S. and Ukraine to town hall backlash to major cuts to the federal workforce. We turn now to the analysis of Brooks and Capehart. That's New York Times columnist David Brooks and Jonathan Capehart, associate editor for the Washington Post.
Hold on, I gotta get smarter than the equipment. Give me a second. That wasn't the one I wanted. Okay, let me try this. Let me try this again. Boy, I tell you, sometimes you just got to be smarter than the equipment. Now let's try it.
The White House and President Trump just hosted the White House's annual Black History Month reception. While his executive order ending DEI programs have disrupted Black history events around the country, Trump was joined by golf champion Tiger Woods, Kash Patel, who was just confirmed to lead the FBI, and Senator Tim Scott.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here with you, Mr. President.
Trump named Alice Johnson, the woman he pardoned in 2018, who was serving a life sentence for a nonviolent drug offense, as his new pardon czar.
And we're going to be listening to your recommendation on pardons. You're going to go over and she's going to be my pardon czar, okay? And you're going to find people just like you that should not have happened.
Trump also announced plans to include statues of Black icons to the National Garden of American Heroes.
The garden will predominantly feature incredible women like Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, and Coretta Scott King. We're going to produce some of the most beautiful works of art in the form of a statue for men like Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Jackie Robinson, what a great athlete that was, Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, and the late Kobe Bryant. People love Kobe Bryant.
The attendees I spoke to said they feel like the Democratic Party has abandoned them, and they're excited to see what Trump does for African Americans during his term.
Okay, now that you've seen that, Miss Summer, what do you think? And welcome to the show. What do you think how that went, and what is your take on that particular moment in history?
Sir, I believe you do not want to hear what I really would like to say tonight. I really just want to I'm still trying to take it all in. That's all I'm gonna say right now. I really just don't want to. I'm speechless. Let me just put it like that. I'm so
And that's surprising. That's surprising. If anybody doesn't know, Miss Summer is part of the Screen Actors Guild. She's a card carrying member. So for her to not be to her to be silent is saying a lot. Miss Kim, are you there? I know you're a little under the weather today.
Yeah, I'm here.
What was your take from the video?
That's some BS.
Could you elaborate on that?
It's just something when I see that, it just irks me. With the whole getting rid of the DEI, and then on top of that, you know, he, oh God, I'm about
Mm,
like
mm, mm,
Summer.
mm.
I'm just like
Just
speechless
a bunch of shucking
because,
and jiving, bunch of
yeah, yeah,
tomfoolery, bunch of oh my God, Sambo and Sambo, my Lord.
yeah. I watched earlier today, Reverend Jamal Bryant. Is this the same play where they had pictures of him holding up of Reverend Jamal Bryant? I
I,
wonder, is it the
I think
same?
so. It may have been.
Yeah, yeah.
I just saw
He
bits.
has a whole sermon on it. I listened to it today. I think I might have shared it with Chocolate Pearl in Summer.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, so that's
yeah,
talking about that. That was my fraternity brother, by the way. Not saying he's always good, but you know, how can I put this? He uh he has his faults, but what he really said about boycotting people's businesses who don't want to practice DEI struck a chord with me, and not in a bad way, in a good way. If y'all don't know, um, February 28th, do not patronize, do not darken the doorway, do not go in, don't order anything from Amazon, don't go to Target, don't go to Walmart, Sam's. If they don't do DEI, if you don't know, if you can't find a substitute in the black community, I'm very specific, the black community, okay? Because we sitting protest out. If y'all don't know, we sit and protest out. Don't give people your money that don't want to treat you halfway decent. So, yes, I thank you, Kim, for bringing that up. Um, Chocolate Pearl, my favorite girl, holla at your boy. I see you on, see you live.
Hey, 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 y'all. It's Chocolate Pearl, my brother's favorite girl and everybody else's favorite girl. But I sorry I came in late. You know, I come from sewing class, so I tried to get here on time, and I apologize once again for being a tad bit late. I don't know what y'all had discussed, but I did come upon the part where you talked about the DEI situation and boycotting on the 28th of February. Also, Kim was nice enough to forward another list of other days that we possibly need to boycott as well. I would like to know, how do y'all think the turnout's going to be? Do you think that it's going to affect these companies the way we think it should if we decide to boycott? Or do you think that people are actually going to do it, actually going to boycott and not shop on? We're
I
not
think
going to know until that time comes, but
right,
do you really think that there's going to be enough participation to make um, um,
a
an,
different.
yeah, a difference?
Yeah, here's my take on it. I think there will be enough people to make a 1 day difference. If our voting patterns are the same with foundational Black Americans, then it will make a big impact. Now, um, people have to be smart about that. If think you need something, get it Thursday, or not. Just don't take the money out of people's pockets, because you hurt their pockets, things start to get better. That's how the Montgomery bus boycott worked. You don't shop where you don't shop where you can't work. You can't, you can't don't shop where you're not treated right. And going back to that. But what we did before you came on, Pearl, is I showed I showed a quick video from the Washington Post regarding the president on his Black History Month. And let's just say there was a lot of skin folks in there. They had Tiger Woods. They had they had the senator from your former state,
He
um,
don't count.
Sim Tot. Sim
He
Tot,
don't count. He ain't never count.
or as we like to call him, Mushmouth, and and a few others. And when the president was speaking, he was saying, he read from a card because he probably didn't know half those people. The only one Jackie Robinson, that what he said that he didn't say he said that was a great athlete. So take it for what it's
Exactly. Some
worth.
people got to realize it probably bypassed a lot of people when he said that word that. They don't realize that that was a degrading a word in that text, the contents that he delivered it. But for him to say that a person is a that, and yeah, he did. He meant it. He meant it. I did when you sent the subject, I did kind of research to find out what it was because I don't like to watch. Only orange I like is on my body and a little cutie. That's the only orange that I deal with. But I didn't want to watch it, but because it was a topic, I decided to check out to see who was there, and it was a lot of us there. I don't
In
know the
folks, not
front,
us.
huh?
In folks, not us. Get it
Yeah,
right.
yeah, a lot of melanin persons. What I want to say, a melanin that. But I noticed that was there, but I don't know the real meaning of that. If they was just there to support Tiger Woods or the other melanin persons there, I don't know. But it's just a disgrace how he can put up a front and then turn around and want to eliminate those type of victories or celebrations, not victories, those type of celebrations. You're down it 1 minute, but then you're trying to lift it up on the other to save face. You need to change. You need to make up your mind. Pick a side, dude. Pick a side.
Well, I'm gonna give my DFG 2 cents on that. Um, he was trying to placate those skin folks that we have that are MAGA supporters and um ones that'll probably call the cops on people like us, but I digress. Uh his whole thing was a show. And one thing I cannot take away from the president in first term and now is at heart he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
He knows how to work a crowd. He is the match selling himself to the forest.
And you have to also realize that he is not only an entertainer, but he's also a corporate man. And I'm not going to say businessman. I'm going to say a corporate man. To me, there's actually two differences. But the simple fact, a corporate man is the one that constantly just hides behind other people and tells them, this is what I want you to do, and let them do the dirty work. But then but if it's going to look good, you take the credit. But when it doesn't look good, you don't take the blame. Though that's a corporate person.
Yes, he's not in my opinion, and that might not be opinion of everybody else. My opinion, he is a manager. He is not a leader.
Right.
He's
a person that hides behind others,
right,
that dictates but hides behind. And if it doesn't work for him, he's ready to fire. But if it does work for him, he's ready to praise.
Right.
That's why I called it a corporate
Yeah,
like I said, it's a difference. It's a whole difference in corporate and business people. Corporate people just, delegate, tell them that if it don't work, get rid of them and find somebody else that's going to make it work the way they want it.
right.
A business person knows how to strategize and figure things out and make it work for the better of both sides. He is not in that. He's just a corporate man.
I agree. I got this topic. Miss Dreen is on tonight. I got this topic from her. She emailed it to me and this morning. So I don't know if you saw the video, Dreen, but tell me how you feel about this.
I didn't see the video, but I just find it interesting how some of our people, and I'm just hoping that people will see through it, so easily fall for the okie doke. And they really don't represent us. So they show up there
Right.
for, I have no idea why. I thought it was interesting. I did see a little clip of Jamal Bryant's sermon because I didn't see where they were holding his picture up, but I was like, wow, that's interesting. It's like you're trolling other Black folks that are really doing something to empower while you're there just, I'm not even sure why, because some of them were the real deplorables. Like, they shouldn't even be at the White House, but he shouldn't even be leading the country. So, like people go together. So I think it's just interesting how we have all these facets and you see how broken the kind of like society on a whole, but how divided of a people we really are. So it just speaks to the lack of knowledge and the fact that you would fall for something, how we are not like community based. And I think that's what we need to figure out how to get back to, because it has to be for the greater good. I can't be out for myself, because at the end of the day, I might be all right, but how good am I really doing if my brothers and sisters aren't doing well?
Right. And we're supposed to be our people's keeper, and it takes a village, and we're supposed to be doing that. However, here's the thing. The motto for the United States is E pluribus unum, out of one many, or out of many one, as one. We're supposed to be, helping your neighbor. We're stronger united than we are divided. Abraham Lincoln said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." But also over the time, you had a lot of people with the individualist mindset. Even though I'm on Medicaid,
I think one thing we know is historically, and especially looking at the Republican Party, the white supremacy, patriarchy, we know that's not true. Because that's why they say stuff like by working up by their bootstraps, and they call Social Security an entitlement. I think we just allowed them to seep into society that there's this thing about an individualism and rugged individualism when there's not. Nobody survives on their own. And really, their rugged individualism is how to build up the oligarchy while everyone else is just at the bottom, scrapping and scraping, and the rich just continue to thrive, which those types of society historically don't last long.
yes,
Because
I agree. I agree with that 100%. And a lot of people were saying, the party switch, the party changed philosophies in 1964. I'm going to show you a video of Dr. Martin Luther King talking about the Republican Party at that time. This was before all of us were born, so this is going to be a little not shocking, but it's going to show you. And they like Martin Luther King 1963, but they didn't like him 1967, 68. I didn't hear it. So basically saying, he's talking a little about the people in the party, really going to a heart, right to a kind of what it is today.
Okay. Doctor, you have to turn one of your things off because you're getting a echo.
Okay, hold on. Let me try this again.
Dr. King, in light of recent
Okay, let me try this again. All right, y'all ready?
Dr. King, in light of recent statements of Senator Barry Goldwater and, in some cases, Richard Nixon, do you think there is a real danger of the Republican Party becoming the white man's party in this country?
I think this is a real danger, and I've talked with some Negro Republicans who are very concerned about
I'm not able to hear anything.
see trends.
Yeah, it's really low.
I understand.
Will reveal that unless the liberals of the Republican Party take play a much more decisive role in leadership positions, this will become a white man's party. And I think this would be tragic for the Republican Party as well as tragic for the nation.
And
Now, what was he saying?
he was saying that he was talking to the more liberal people in the Republican Party at the time, and was saying that he was afraid that in a few years that the Republican Party would be a white man's party. How prescient was he about that? He knew he saw it. He saw it. So
Back then, what's going
yeah,
on now?
yeah. So, and truth in lending, I am a registered Republican. I'm not ashamed of that. However, there's a difference between being a Republican and being a MAGA. And don't, being a conservative and being a MAGA. There's not a distinction anymore, but I have to state that I'm more of a moderate Republican. There's some things I do like about the party. I've been a Republican forever. And
You have to realize, I went to go see, somebody had gifted me a ticket to go see Sher Underwood Saturday night. And she is a registered Republican, diehard Republican, been for years. But she states similar to what you're stating. I am a Republican, but I did not vote for a Republican. It's just the fact that she's for the party and not the person.
right. And that's been the biggest issue, is because I say this, as a person that I am, and you've known me your whole life, that anyone who's totally with one party is not a smart person.
Right.
Because if you're thinking individually, there's some things that the Democrats do that I like. There are things that the Republicans do that I like. Vice versa, things that I don't like and things that I don't like. I take the things as I see them and make the best choice for me and my family. So saying that, and they just the House I just saw it pop up on my screen. The House just pushed their bill through to the $3.4 trillion tax break for the upper 1%. And people who are making between 20,000 and 100,000 are going to be paying more taxes than the billionaires. So, and they're cutting EBT. They're cutting EBT. They're cutting. It used to be aid for dependent children. Miss
Are
Kim,
they used to cutting it down or cutting it out? Period.
they're cutting it down. They're severely cutting it down. They got to cut in the Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, TANF, all of that stuff. They got to cut to save money so that the top 1%, that the top 1% can get their beloved tax cuts and save more money. And here's
I have a question. Okay. Well, I have to pay every year ever since I had an empty nest. So my thing is this: if the lower under 100,000 are the ones that are going to be paying higher taxes, and the ones over that 100,000 are going to pay less taxes, what happens to the economy when you're paying more taxes than you can afford to stay or eat or live? What happens to the economy because we're sitting there trying to pay taxes that we don't have?
Well, then, and what happens is, and this is just my personal opinion, just observation, that we're not going to own anything. Regular people are not going to own anything in about 5 years. That everything will be owned by somebody else,
And we'll be constantly renting.
and they want to keep us a little dumb, a little sick, and a little hungry. Easier to and easier to manage that way. So then we do what we're told, not how to think, not how to think as a human being, because that's thinking gets you in trouble.
Okay, I'm a big devil's advocate. Do they realize that they're cutting more of the clear than they are the melanin when
Right.
they do that? For the
Oh,
simple
no.
fact, at the end of the day, more of the melanin knows how to know how to survive. We can stretch a dollar for a family of six, okay, type thing. The clear people, not a lot of those know how to do that.
Well,
So
the majority of them actually, because there are more wonderful people in poverty than there are beautiful people. However, a lot of those programs, and I agree with you, a lot of those programs were not meant for the beautiful people at the time. And once the beautiful people started to get the access to that, that's when it became bad. That's when Social Security they want to cut Social Security. Um, they want to cut welfare, and they want to cut a couple of other things. However, but they don't cut corporate welfare because they get more money than all of us put together. But that's a whole nother thing. Andrina, I know you're here tonight, and I appreciate you coming on, from lovely South Carolina, Indiana love. What was your take on that Black History thing? Miss Andrina?
I am here. I am here trying to unmute and everything else. Okay. Now, I'm going to agree with Miss Kim. Look, I'm just trying to keep my peace. It's kind of upsetting because there's another video that's floating around. And like you talked about, you being a Republican, others are Democrats and so forth. But what you choose to do, you do. But at the same time, make sure you represent your people. And I can tell you what I saw, I wasn't too proud of our people. They were loud. And of course, people other than us, they tend to look at us differently, say we don't know how to conduct ourselves. And they truly did not conduct themselves the way I thought we should have conducted ourselves in the White House. Okay? And
they didn't put their church clothes on. you know how our parents back in the day, when you went to church, you dressed up. Now you go to church any old kind of way now. But back then, you knew you was going to the airport. You knew you was going to the doctor's office. You knew you was going to church. You had some couth to you. But now it's just you act on any old kind of way. I get what you're saying, sweetie. I get what you're saying.
And like I said, it was just truly disappointing because I felt like we've come so far to go so far
backwards, right?
And I'm like, I was just in disbelief. I could not believe what I was seeing and hearing.
White House in the East.
And it was like nobody there saying, hey, tone it down a little bit. You can say what you have to say without taking it to that level.
Because he is.
I agree. I agree with that. I appreciate your taking. Beanie is on right now. That's my youngest sibling. woman sibling. And she's not just a female. She's a grown ass woman, a grandmother. So Beanie, how was work today, first of all?
Work was work, but thank you for asking. Hello everybody. I just basically woke up and hopped on because I took a nap after work. So
I understand. Trust me. I'm trust me. I'm trying to home from work
yeah,
since I can't work from home. It's kind of hard because they'll look at me kind of crazy if I come in with pajamas.
yeah, they surely will. They surely will.
But the question, what we're talking about tonight is a few things, but they're all related. The president had a Black History celebration, if that's what you want to call it, in the White House this past,
I ain't seen it.
and you know he's against DEI, but yet he has that. He has that. What are your feelings about him trying to pander to the Black community?
I ain't seen it. So out of sight, out of mind. Um, it's foolishness. It's like being on the campaign trail, throwing promises that you're not intending to keep. So it is what it is. Like I said, the um the DIE thing, I'm so against it because it's going to hurt way more people than people think it than it's going to hurt the people that it's supposed to hurt. I
Yeah,
should say it's going to hurt way more people that is not supposed to hurt than it is going to hurt because the people that is supposed to work work on know how to work hard to get what they actually want. So it's one of those like, okay, you bit your nose to spite your face. Okay, have at it. So yeah.
yeah, a lot of that.
That's what I said earlier. Is
Yeah,
the fact that we know how to survive. Because we've done it before. This is nothing new to us, but it's going to be something new to them. They don't realize that they're the ones that had assistance and depended on that assistance. We didn't depend on that assistance. We used it, but we didn't depend on it because we knew how to hustle. We knew how to make it work. They don't know how to do that. They waited for us to do that for them. So now they're gonna have to do this on their own. So yeah, they don't realize, she said, it's gonna hurt the people that they didn't plan for it to hurt because they were targeting one particular demographic and not realizing that the demographic that they're targeting is really not going to do as much damage as they think it's going to do. It's going to do more damage to the people that they thought it was trying to protect.
agreed. Agreed. I think that we won't have anybody in here that will disagree with that statement. Saying that, I thought I saw, yeah, there she is, the New York City girl, the sweetest Snapple. We got one of my other sisters, Miss Apple. What's going on, Apple? Holla at your boy.
Hey everybody, sorry I'm late. I was in a meeting and I couldn't, you know, get on time. So I'm just gonna sit back and listen because I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know the subject, so I'm just gonna sit back and listen.
We were tonight's topic. We were talking about the president and his Black History, his story, um,
Yeah, you're right.
celebration,
His story, not history.
celebration, and the people he invited who came. They had Tiger Woods. They had Mushmouth Tim Scott. They had a couple of other token colored folks. Cash Patel, the FBI director, was there, even though he's melanated, but he's sure ain't black. But that's another story. And we were just talking about how some of these policies that was the president's against DEI, but then he has a Black History celebration, and his COON brigade was happy to see that, and they were looking like they were getting all the butter biscuits they can eat. They were so happy, cheesing and shucking and jiving and buck dancing. It was a spectacle, to say the least. Understand that that might not have been in your bailiwick, but we know that the craziness that goes on in this month and 3 days, this month and 3 days of turmoil, turbidity, and, for lack of a better word, turpentine that we're going through. And we came to a consensus that, although we're on the bottom of the totem pole socially, we're the ones that's gonna take most of the brunt of we're gonna be spared a lot from the impending mess that's coming down, because we're used to not getting anything. We're used to making do with what we have. Whereas the dominant society, they're losing their minds, and they're asking where are when we talked about last week with the 92%. Where's the 92%? Why aren't they out here protesting with us? And that goes to another thing. And some of the people that he named that he was going to put in the Garden of Heroes, I really didn't have a problem with. He said he was going to have, you know, Harriet Tubman, um, Aretha Franklin, a few others, Jackie Robinson, and a few others like that. But it, it's it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting how we look at things and how things are going in our direction, and we're just saying, yeah, we understand, but we're not fighting those battles. We're not fighting your battles for you. We're doing what we need to do in order to be better people for us, because we got to make do with what we have here. Um, let's see who else I know. Miss Summer, again, back to you. I know you were all right. Miss Summer, back to you. I understand that you had a lot of strong words and for that, but what do you see? What do you see in the near future on the state of how things are and how things are going? And what do you predict that next um next February, because we ain't gonna have Black History Month, I don't think, next in 2026, just my personal opinion. What do you think February 2026 looks like?
Oh my goodness. So basically, I think he's going to tear this country down to the ground. It's going to be up to us to continue traditions. Can't rely on the government, can't rely on anybody else. It's going to be up to us. Um, we are just going to have to rough these next 4 years out. Hope they can get them out before then. Just stay vigilant and just educated, and just we just gonna have to let them know, we going forward, we're not going backwards. So you can try us if you want to. Um, but it's up from here. That's it.
Okay, okay, that I definitely appreciate that. Chocolate Pearl, what about you? What do you think February 2026 is going to look like?
Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm with Summer. I think, we just still have to still celebrate. Um, Back in slavery times, they didn't want you to get married and all that other good stuff. So we created a way to celebrate our heritage and our roots per se. They jumped the broom type thing to say that they, got married type. We create a way to make our history last and stay strong. If he decides that we can no longer celebrate it as a nation, we still are going to celebrate it as a whole. We're going to still celebrate it as a race, as a celebratory situation. You're not going to get rid of Cinco de Mayo. You're not going to get rid of uh, it's my birthday and I can't remember what it is right now. Juneteenth. We're not going to get rid of Juneteenth. We're still going to celebrate Martin Luther King. Now, because before, remember, it wasn't a holiday. It wasn't a national holiday.
Right.
But we still celebrated it. So we're still going to do the same thing we did. It's just not a national holiday. But the nation of whoever's culture it is still going to celebrate it. They may not get paid for it. They may not take the day off for it. Stuff may not close for it, but we can still celebrate it like we did before when it wasn't a national holiday.
Right. I don't know if you remember when we were younger in New York, they had what was called Black Solidarity Day, November the 5th, where they encouraged us to not partake with the white man with the man back then, how it was back then. And I think what we're doing now is something similar to showing our solidarity with our pockets to patronize Black owned establishments, and truly Black owned establishments, because some people have Black owned, but the people at the top are very wonderful, and they look like this. So there's things that we have and we do that we need to continue to make sure that we're on our way and we're taking care of our business and we're minding our own Black business, and and then our business can be good. But the only problem is that whenever we try to do that, the dominant society comes and tries to do something to knock us back down. We just got to keep getting back up. But we ain't fighting no more battles for nobody else. We fighting for us. Go ahead, Summer.
No, I was just going to add to that by saying that they're trying to wipe our history out. They're trying to wipe away who we are and what we've been through. And we cannot allow that to happen. We have to educate our children. We have to continue to teach them and let them know who they are, where they come from, and the power that they have, and just to keep encouraging them, their growth, their education. We cannot let our children fall into these cracks and let this society eat them alive.
Yes, I agree.
I agree too.
I definitely agree with that. There was a song about 30 years ago with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I forgot the name of the group. I want to say it was ABC. It was called Your Heritage. Be proud of who you are. And or throughout growing up, there was always songs. I'm proud, I'm Black, say it loud. I'm Black and I'm proud. And Run DMC in the 80s made I'm Proud to Be Black. Nina Simone, Young, Gifted, and Black. Big Daddy Kane did a rap version of that. So we've always, Brand Nubian. So we've always had, and this is the kind of things that we need to bring back, because we're not, we know that music is a conduit of how we are. It's part of our soul, our spirit, our essence. And we need to stop, we need to get to these young folks and say, look, I understand, but, let's start glorifying the good things that we do. Going to school don't make you a lame. Going to school makes you educated. You know, some of us imbibe with the leaf, some of us drank a little, smoke a little, you know, but we got to be about our business. We got to be on our purpose. And what is our purpose? Uplifting our community, working for working for working towards getting reparations for foundational Black Americans and those American descendants of African descendants of slavery, um, getting those reparations so that we can repair ourselves, giving us the right to self-determine. That's what Malcolm X was talking about. So we have to be able to get to that level, but we have to stop. We have to stop beating ourselves up. We got to stop mean mugging each other, and just if I don't like you, I'm going to respect you. I don't have to like you, but we got to have the same. We got to be going in the same direction if we're going to get there. And not all, but and Martin Luther King said the night before he passed, I've been to the mountaintop. I may not be there when you get there, but I've seen it. And that's the kind of attitude that we have to have. We have to press. The Bible says we have to press towards the mark of the high calling, which is Jesus Christ, or Christ Jesus, to be exact. But we have to look at those things and be able to go forward. The attack is going to be on HBCUs. The attack is going to be on the neighborhood, in the neighborhoods. The attack is going to be where they try to think we least expect it. We got to stand up for ourselves. Go on, Miss Andrina.
No, just piggybacking off of what you said about our historical Black colleges and with DEI, it's amazing how some of our colleges are starting to be affected. And just reflecting back to myself, going through school, especially high school, Black history was taught, but it wasn't taught, okay? And when I truly say learned about my people, I had to come all the way to Columbia, to my historical Black schools to learn about my people, my past. And one of the things they used to say, how are you expected to know your future when you don't know your past?
But they're outlawing teaching that. But we, like you said, the first teachers are in the house. So we have to teach our kids what isn't taught at school, so they know who they are and act accordingly. So we don't have to raise militants, but we can raise revolutionaries. Gil Scott Heron said the revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. But Kendrick Lamar said the revolution will be televised. That's 50 years later. He said that, and just how people reacted during after the halftime show, and we talked about that 2 weeks ago. It still resonates because the way he laid it out, if you wasn't for it, you didn't understand it.
Yeah, got people thinking. But Dab said it's still ain't televised.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Um, but that's what I'm saying. We got to stop evolving and start revolving because evolution is slow, and incremental changes are okay in the beginning, but we got to have wholesale changes within our community. We have to all get in the right direction. We either go, like they say in church, you either turn right or you're gonna get left. And I'm not gonna say go get back in the church. I'm not gonna say that because not everybody believes in the church, but we need to believe in community. We all, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're agnostic, whether you're atheist, if you're a foundational Black and an American descendant of slavery, or someone who identifies as Black or identify with Black people, we need to be moving in the same direction, and that's self-determination, and economic freedom from the oppressive society that's currently in power. Anybody disagree with me? Bueller, Bueller, and oh, Dr. Fabulous has jumped in my Facebook. Um, I'm gonna invite her. I'm gonna invite her on the show for the last couple of minutes. If y'all don't know, if y'all Tuesday is my show, Thursday is her show, Upscale Vibes Worldwide, every Thursday at 8:30. She's the CEO and host. I'm a co-host and do a lot of the technical stuff. We also have Social Media Diva. We have Lady T. We have Madam D. We also right now I'm the only regular male host, but you know I hang in there because I am the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course smooth as a Rolls Royce. But that's how that goes. Um, I want y'all to understand that with yeah, fight the powers that be. Exactly. Isley Brothers and in the 89, one of my favorites, or 88. No, 89, Do the Right Thing, Public Enemy. Because he you know, I want to see if anybody remembers. Elvis was a hero to most, but he never meant ish to me. Straight out racist. The sucker was simple and plain. Can somebody finish that for me? Nobody?
Is
Play
it Fight the Power?
no.
Oh, okay.
Elvis was a hero to most, but he never met. Yeah, Summer got it. F him and John Wayne. But that's what you know. That's the truth. That is the truth. So we have to remember how we are and things that we're doing. It affects our people. So we want to be we want to know and want everybody to be a part of something bigger than ourselves because we weren't meant to be selfish. We weren't meant to be individuals. We're supposed to go be bigger than ourselves, outside ourselves, and we need to continue that, especially in this environment. Especially in this environment. But we're coming closer to the end than we are to the beginning. I just want to go around. I want to go around the horn and ask what is it about Black history that you would like to see going forward. I'm gonna start off with Dream, Miss Dream. What do you want to see from Black history going forward?
I mean, I think going forward, one thing I would like to see it's for it to be woven throughout the educational curriculum. I think sometimes when it's because it's American history, and I think I want it to be broadly. I don't mind it having a special month per se, but I think we need to really teach it more. It can't be all the same people that everybody knows. Today, I know with my kids, I did Daisy Bates, who worked with the integrated the school with the nine high school students, Central High School. A lot of the students don't hear about those people. So I think at the end of the day, I know myself, every time whenever we read something, we're reading about somebody Black. And I just feel like we need to weave it all through the history and not so much keep it, even though it isn't kept to 1 month, but I'm not so sure. I think it was a positive and it was meant for a positive because it was so lacking. But I think there's so much we don't know. So I think part of what we should try to figure out how to do is to expand it and call it American history because that's what it is.
Yeah,
And
yes, I agree. It's just that you have a lot of wonderful people guilt about things that their ancestors did that they feel they shouldn't be paying for. But those are the things that we go through, and we're trying to make sure that we are teaching ourselves. I'm gonna ask Miss Andrina, Miss Andrina, what would you like to see from Black history going forward?
Okay, what I would like to see going forward, maybe coming from parents that we, I'm sorry.
Somebody nobody ever heard of is the real head of Doge, not Elon Musk.
Oh, that's I got that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. That we not forget all of things that have happened in the past, and to make sure that we share that with our children so they're able to share it with their children and on and on. That's how we learn about our ancestors. That's how we learn about our history. Not just waiting for the schools to teach it, but again, starting at home.
Good. Good. Miss Summer, what would you like to see? What would you like to see Black history from now on, going forward?
Uh, wow. So I'm very hopeful, and I'm hoping that let's see, you got the Beyoncés, you got the Kendrick Lamars, you got the Tyler Perrys. I'm hoping that they continue to uh break barriers, capture a lot of the young people's attention, get them interested in history. I did like when Tyler Perry just came out with the movie with the female soldiers. I didn't even know they existed. So to even bring them up into light, that was very remarkable. I hope that a lot of Black people in the entertainment business shine more of a light on things that we didn't know about. And I mentioned Beyonce. I'm not really a big, huge fan of hers, but she let us know that, you know, Black people created country music. We were like a lot of the founders. A lot of people don't know that. And
Right.
so, she dug up a lot of, history with that. So just keep continuing to open people's eyes and let them know the origin of a lot of where, you know, these things come from. So that's I'm just hoping and praying, and I would love to see that and for that to continue to shine a light on that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Miss Alana D, one of my fellow co-hosts from Upscale Vibe Worldwide. What would you like to see from Black history moving forward?
So I'm always, wherever I go, share Black history. Even like substitute teaching, I'm always sharing information with the kids because they are clueless about our history and the struggles. Because when I was telling them about how, like, my mom's, when they were younger, they couldn't just go in Wendy's and eat in the restaurant. They had to get their food at the back door. And they were like shocked, like, what? That's mean. So just doing a better job at educating our children and even the other kids, the white, the Hispanic, about our history, and also educating myself, because I remember growing up, when we saw Tarzan, you thought that Black people were in this jungle running around. And actually, Africa, that's not Africa, you know. So just learning more about Africa, because when I did my ancestry, most of my DNA, I would say about 90% of it was from different regions in Africa. And I only had 2% of UK and 1% of Dutch. So just learning more and sharing more, and even with grown-ups. A lot of grown-ups don't know.
Yes,
So
and people.
That's one thing I did at Amazon. I told him about Oscarville and Lake Lanier. And the little young guy, he was in his 20s. He was like, "Man, you just giving me some knowledge here. I'm gonna go look it up." But we just can't continue to exist in our own little bubbles. We got to bring that village back, and we got to share our history where the kids will know. Like, even voting, they didn't know what they were voting for. They just voted because their friends voted for somebody. So just educating ourselves and our kids and our young people and grown
It
folks.
one one thing one thing, Madam D, is that a lot of times people mistake the diaspora as a country instead of a continent, and
Right.
and even the name is not what it should be called. The actual name is Alekoban.
No, I did not know that.
The name that we use now, Africa, came from Cyprianus Africanus,
Okay.
a Roman conqueror. So that's, that's one of those things that, I'm a repository of useless information. So I know, just I'm not gonna go on Jeopardy or nothing like that, but I know a lot of useless stuff. Hey, Dr. Fab, it's good to see you on. What is going on, young lady?
I had to unmute. Nothing much. I was asking for the actual site to get it in Zoom, but the conversation that you're having is a great conversation. And like she said, as being an educator, when you're talking to the kids about Black history, the only thing they know is Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. And I told them today, it's so funny because in English and ELA, they're writing, and the girl says, well, I know about Rosa Parks, and I know, and I started sharing other individuals with them that did some excellent things in Black history, and they were in awe. And I think that it starts from home, because if the parents would share the knowledge with their children, they wouldn't be so blank. They wouldn't have such a blank canvas about Black history, because with my grandkids, I share different stories and things with them about history so that they're not just a loose cannon or just crazy, don't know, because if they don't get it from home, then they're definitely not teaching it in school. So I will say that you have to start at home so that they will be able to get some understanding. But then again, if the parents don't know, they can't tell their kids, because if they don't know where they came from, they don't know where they're going. And I leave it at that.
Yep. Yep. Know who you are and know how it affects you. What's going on, Big Al? Good to see you. I know it's towards the end of the show, but I want you to holler at your boy.
Yeah, I was trying to log in as I was driving home. I was at a men's conference, and but it wouldn't let me log in on my cell phone. So I rushed in and said, at least I can catch the last couple of minutes. But it's one of them days. What are you trying to do? Show off your guns?
Of course, and I got an image to maintain, Big Al. Even though I'm wearing black, noop. But what I was asking everybody before we close was, what would you like to see from Black history going forward?
Great question. I just believe the lineage of Black people all the way back to biblical times when we were kings and queens, and to show the lineage of Black people and how we've been able to sustain ourselves, how we were able to overcome. Because when you think about it, little fat white men didn't go to Africa and catch us. I mean, the Black man and woman are the most intelligent, the strongest, the most physically fit. All those things that we have going for us made us a prime candidate to become slaves. But the white man was able to cause our brothers to capture us and enslave us for the promise of gunpowder and some of those other things. So the lineage of us as a people, and to try to get away from that crabs in the barrel mentality where we're pulling each other down and not encouraging each other and lifting each up, but just the history of our lineage back to biblical times and some of the things that caused us to be enslaved.
Okay, I appreciate that. Go on, Fab.
No, that's a good point that he made, because it always amazes me how you had all the slaves and maybe one or two slave masters. And I said their mindset was not that they were slaves, but they were just with someone over them. Because I just felt like they should have been able to overtake, like, what is that movie with Jamie Foxx? How he came through.
Django.
Yes. And that was what I was saying. I was like, Lord, all of these here slaves, and their mentality was this is their home and they couldn't go. And they said that yes, Harriet Tubman would have freed more slaves if they realized that they were slaves. So that's, yeah. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna talk this much. I'm
Dr.
feeling
Fabulous, that's what it was like at the White House celebration.
Yeah,
oh,
it was seriously the sunken place. Madam D, I'm gonna let you say the last thing and then I'm gonna close this thing out.
mm.
Because
Okay.
I got a home from work tomorrow.
Okay, real quick. There were like language barriers where it wasn't where we came here speaking English. You had many languages that came here. So that was one thing, and the land was unfamiliar to them. So that was another thing.
Okay.
And that definitely makes sense. But that's I want to thank everybody for this for this wonderful, I didn't know where we were going with this, but we actually covered a lot. Um, I want to thank everybody who came on, those who were on earlier and dropped off. Miss Kim, she's not feeling whether she was on, but she came off. Miss Dream, she's always on. Miss Nikki on Yahoo, Big Al, and of course my couldn't say this without my lovely co-hosts. Give them a shout out. Um, Apple, Chocolate Pearl, and Beanie who came on and dropped off. Also, my Thursday team came on, and I appreciate that. Social media came up for a second and dropped back off. Dr. Fabulous, CEO of Upscale Vibes Worldwide, and Madam D coming and gracing our presence. And of course, I'm looking at my main man, Dab, soon to be my brother-in-law in the near future. You know, he's a DJ from Seattle, and he knows what he's doing, so he keeps it up, and hopefully he won't get ruined. I'm going to make sure that every Tuesday night you're going to get a quality product. I want you to tell your friend. DFG is back again. I think if we keep doing this, we can build this. I'm over 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm over 40,000 on TikTok. I got about 8,000 on Instagram. I would like to keep growing because we gotta support, and I'll if you got an event, I'll come through and I'll support. People know that. I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna
Are
say
you in Jamaica?
I am not in Jamaica.
You got on a tank. I'm like, where are you? I thought it's
I'm
cold
in
where
my
you're located.
I'm in my studio, so
Oh, okay.
uh,
All right.
it's a little warm. It's a little warm up here in the 571. And
Stop it
Summer,
now.
I thank you for coming on too and continue. Don't be a stranger, just be strange. Um, but y'all enjoy yourselves. I hopefully y'all learn something and I want to thank everybody for their participation.
All
And
right.
I want to say never make love by the garden gate. Though love is blind, the neighbors ain't. Y'all have a
Good
wonderful
night.
evening.